1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 533, Giants at Portland. Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. We are in the middle round of the Race to the Pennant tournament, the round of 5 games to distinguish, in this case, seeds between current first place teams. This is the last of these battles. Let's take a look at the overall bracket look at this moment. And this is the top seeds here. I call them friendlies because nobody gets eliminated. They're just jockeying for overall seeding in the tournament, in the playoffs. Your number 1 and 2 seeds, division winners get byes. 3 and 4 division winners host wild cards 5 and 6. So we can give you a wrap right here. Toronto and Detroit, a best of 5 to distinguish those two squads. Tigers win 3 out of 4. White Sox blew a 2-game lead over Oakland. Oakland wins at 4-zip. So now Oakland leapfrogs the White Sox for a seed. And Cubs-Braves. Cubs needed to win all 5 games. They got a split after the first 2. We stopped playing after that. So Braves get the... They're going to have the number 1 seed in the National League. Cubs are still in pretty decent shape. In first place, 3 over 500. Still favored to win that division. Worst case, wild card. Potentially might have to play for a wild card spot if the Cardinals and Pirates can sneak up into first. But here we are out west. We have a series between Portland and San Francisco. Not a lot happening in these regions out Mountain West and West Pacific. It's been a whole slog for all 8 of those teams. Portland found themselves just a couple games over 500. The Giants won more than that. It becomes a simple best of 5. And it could also be a ticket to the number 2 seed in the National League. The thing about the National League is the Braves are all alone at the top. And then there's a big chunk of teams, all about between 3 under or over 500, all still slugging it out. So the number 2 seed could be a really lucky team that doesn't have an incredible winning percentage in the National League. Let's see what's happened thus far in this series, which opened up at the Bay. The Golden Gate City, San Francisco, Game 1. The Aces in Game 1. Portland, Nelson Briles. The Giants, Juan Marichal, doing it again here on TV, on Strat-O-Matic. If you've been following this series I've been doing since about 3 or 4 years now, you realize that Juan Marichal is my favorite pitcher. At this point, he is just, with his 69 card and now with his 71 card, he has been the most dominant pitcher over a period of 3 or 4 years. And today, it's the same kind of thing, folks. Scoreless into the 7th, we get a Fran Healy double, Rich Reese single, and then with runners in the corners, it's pitcher X, and you get a single off of Nelly Briles. Is that a cheap way to get a run off a starting pitcher on the pitcher's X? 1-0 ball game. That's it. 1-0. Marichal, 5-hit shutout, a walk and 6 Ks. Nelly Briles went 6 1/3, was pulled after that. Gave up 7 hits, that 1 run, 3 walks, a couple strikeouts. Tough loss for Portland. Giants get a win and some momentum, hopefully, you'd think. Something that the National League Western teams don't have a lot of. Game 2, Portland sends Ray Corbin out of the Minnesota Twin farm system against Bill Parsons, former Milwaukee Brewer pitcher the Giants traded for in an attempt to dump Sam McDowell on the Brewers. And in this one, early on, the Giants want to run on Bob Montgomery, the Portland catcher known for stick, not his arm, throwing arm. Bond singles, steals second after an out, steals third, scores on a single. Chris Spire steals a base as well, doesn't score. Following inning, Rich Reese, a defensive first baseman not known for a stick, hits a solo shot. And Willie McCovey, it's a 2-run homer. In the 4th inning, a 2-run single by Gary Matthews. 6th inning, a solo shot by Fran Healy. Really bad day to be Ray Corbin. Bill Parsons, 7 innings, 6 hits, a run, walking 4 Ks. The shaky Giant bullpen, trying to protect a 7-1 lead, almost blows the game, and the final is 7-5. This Giant bullpen is shaky, with a capital Shay. Carruthers, Caldwell, Charlie Williams, and Steve Hamilton have underachieved for this Giant club, but they managed to get 6 outs while giving up 4 runs. 7-5 Giant victory, which means they've won the first 2 games of a best-of-5 series that now moves to Portland. Let's take a look at the overall standings. Out west, here we are. Look at Portland. And oh my goodness, folks, don't tell me the Arizona Diamondbacks are still alive at 15-19. Yeah, somehow they could still be alive if Portland loses this game and goes a game under 500, and if Arizona were to sweep the Padre team. Is it the Padre team? Yeah, it is. 3 straight. Yeah, they would be involved in a tiebreaker for the division. I don't know. This division is dreadful. But the good news is, it looks like only one of these teams is going to go to the playoffs. Meanwhile, out west, the Giants have finally emerged from a series of stinging defeats. Everybody in this division has been swept. The Dodgers, very strange team. They were swept by the Padres. I think they were swept by the Astros as well. But the Dodgers swept the Giants, and they swept the Atlanta Braves. Figure that one out. Astros got swept by Cleveland and Interleague. Embarrassed by them, as I recall. But the Giants, 2015, they're looking right now. I gotta put them down as a 2 as we speak here. 5 over 500, and we'll kick the Cubbies back down to a 3. Cubs are playing with house money. They'll gladly accept a 3 if they get it in that very close division. But that's where we're sitting right now in a Game 3 in Portland. Giants would love to get a 3-game sweep. Got to move the logos when we... There you go. The road team logo goes on top, so you have to move that. Giants at Portland, Game 533. Today's starting pitchers for the Giants, we got a battle of lefties. We have Ron Bryant. 72 Bryant, 14-7, 290 ERA, and 214 innings. He would win 24 games a year later, but actually he's better here, in my opinion, as a 14-game winner. At least statistically he is. Sometimes you got to be careful when those 20, 22-win cards. Sometimes they get really lucky with run support. Don't believe me? Look up Storm Davis. And in 72, we have Rob Gardner for Portland. Rob came from the Yankee system, 8-5 with a 3.06 ERA and 97 innings. Did not have a very long career. And that's how Portland gets their players. Short sample guys who aren't around very long, that aren't protected by other organizations. Giants, Portland, big Game 3 for Portland. Do not want to have to play their way back into a division title situation. They should have clinched by now, but they haven't. Let's get started from the City of Roses. Leading off for the Giants, it is Bobby Bonds. 45, short X. Your shortstop today is Billy Parker, a reserve shortstop, a 40-44. I don't think his defense will hurt their team at home, and it doesn't there. Fred Stanley's the other shortstop. Chris Spire at the plate, 4'11". Left X. Out in left field today is Frank Robinson, a 3'13". And Frank, oh boy, bad day to be Frank Robinson. The big off-season acquisition, Frank Robinson, brought in to sell some tickets at the end of his career here. That's a 3-base error for Frank. Probably unfamiliar with the new ballpark dimensions in Portland. Batting third with a runner at third and 1 out will be JLU. 210, pitcher. Runners to hold at third base for Dick Dietz. 38 for Dick Dietz, double 1 to 16, and that is a RBI double, unearned run, 1-zip Giants. Willie McCovey, 55 off Gardner, bounces to second base. All right, bottom of 1 for Portland. It'll be Bernie Carbo. 1-7 is a K. This game is sold out, folks. Portland, in the playoff hunt for the first time in like forever, play in a very small ballpark, as you could imagine. 20,000 people in Portland in one spot would probably be considered enormous. And yeah, this is a sellout. We got Ving Rhames and Kurt Russell at the game here today. And of course, a professional wrestler, Beauregard, as well. Batting second, Alan Gallagher, 58, short X. Chris Spires at 2-22 at short. Makes the play. And Ken Boswell, 4-5, rolls to second base. Top of 2, it is Gary Matthews, 46, is a walk. Fuentes likes to hit and run behind Matthews. He's going to do it here. Does not work. It's a pop out. Fran Healy, 56, flies to left. Not going to steal off of this. They have Bob Barton, catcher, much better defensively than Bob Montgomery. So it'll be Ed Goodson. 1-2 is hit by the pitch. 2 on, 2 outs. Bobby Bonds. 38. It's a strikeout. Bottom of 2. It's Frank Robinson. 34. Short. Bob Montgomery. 54. Pops to second. Billy Canigliaro. 2-9. Bounces to short. Top of the 3rd. Chris Spire. 43. First X. This is McGraw. 2-8 at first base. Makes the play. Hey, Jesus Alou. 2-5 short. And Dick Dietz. 2-3. Let's take a look at the Dick Dietz card. Monster, known for the power and mostly known for the incredible amount of walks for a catcher. Had like 100 and some the previous year. In 71, he's down to 97. 19 home runs and a 252 average. That's a heck of a year. If you're not named Johnny Bench, that's a heck of a year for a National League catcher in 1971. Dick Dietz. And 2-3, that is gone. It's the Dick Dietz show today, folks. He's got both RBI and a 2-0 Giants lead. McCovey, this guy's a center. 2-0. Tommy McCraw, 54, center. Bob Barton, 57, he strikes out. Billy Parker, 2-2, he rolls to third. 9 up and down for Ron Bryant. Into the 4th we go. 2-zip. Gary Matthews, 35 is single 1 to 12, and he cannot get it. He rolls a 17. Tito Fuentes pops to short, and Fran Healy, 66, second X. Second baseman is Boswell, 318, makes the play. Back up top in the bottom of the 4th, it is Bernie Carbo. 68, single, 1 to 12, gets it, and the Portland has their first hit. Al Gallagher, 34, as a 6-4-3 double play. And with 2 outs, it's Ken Boswell. 2-10 rolls back to the mound. Top of the 5th, Ed Goodson, 59, flies left. Bobby Bonds, 57, Ks. And Crunchier, 48, single off the Gardner card. JLU, 211, pops to third base. Bottom of the 5th, let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, we got a 2-0 game for the visitor. Bottom of the 5th. It'll be Frank Robinson. Let's take a look at Frank's card before he swings. 71 Frank Robinson last year in Baltimore. 28 home runs and a 281 average, and this guy's been traded twice. The Orioles sent him to Cleveland. While in Cleveland, they won their division. And in the last offseason, Cleveland traded him to Portland, and now Portland's winning their division, or at least leading their division. Frank Robinson is now good luck charm at this point of his career. Here's the pitch to Frank. 66, that's a leadoff single here in the 5th. That's what a veteran does when their team's series is on a brink here. And now their all-star catcher, Bob Montgomery. 64 right on cue off of Ron Bryant's card. It is gone. Portland's going nuts. It is a 2-2 game. You've raced the deficit with our two best players, Frank Robinson and Bob Montgomery. Now you got Billy Canigliaro. 2-8 is a double to center field. Tommy McGraw. 67 off Bryant, who's coming unglued in the fifth. That's a base hit in the left field. Canigliaro, 15 runner, -1 arm. No, they're gonna put the brakes on there. They want a big inning. No reason to get thrown out. Runners in the corners, nobody out. Giants will play back. They'll give up a run on a double play, a ground ball. Bob Barton's is the hitter. 3-6, that's exactly what that is. That's a 6-4-3 double play. The run scores, but they get 2 outs, and it's Billy Parker. 2-4, flies to left. It's almost like you just took the sac fly or the guy ran in that particular case. Everybody seems to be happy. It's a 3-2 lead for Portland into the 6th. Rob Gardner's a starter 7, but he has to deal with Dick Dietz, who's 2 for 2. 2-5 will be a walk. Now it's Willie McCovey. 2-6 is another walk. 2 on for Gary Matthews. 2-8 is a 6-4-3 double play. You got a runner at third, 2 outs for Tito Fuentes, who delivers a single to left, and that'll plate the third run. We're tied again for Fran Healy. 1-4 is a K. So Gardner gets through 6 in a 3-3 tie. Probably will get him out of this game. He's not particularly a sharp guy there, as he was on the hook for a loss and they came back and tied it. So I don't like to put him back on that hook again. Bottom of the 6th, back up top, Ron Bryant's a starter 7. He will continue. He'll face Bernie Carbo. 2-6 grounds the first. Alan Gallagher. 2-9, double and 08 is a double. Runner at second, and it's Ken Boswell. 56 is a K, and it's Frank Robinson. Runner at second and 2 outs. You saw the card, the 1-8 card. Here's the pitch to Frank. 47 off Bryant, flies to center field. We got a 3-3 tie into the 7th we go. And Portland is going to go to their pen here with Don Durham. They're going to go to Durham to relieve Rob Gardner here. Durham's a starter 6, relief 3, but he's a good reliever as he dominates righties, gives up walks to lefties. So Ed Goodson will stick around then here in the 7th, swing away. Ed Goodson. 68, single 118. He gets the 18 on the nose. That's a base hit. Might have a pinch runner here. Bobby Heiss, the defensive third baseman, will come in. Bobby Heiss will run for Ed Goodson and be the new third baseman. Heiss is an East Steeler, so he's not going to go anywhere. And it's Bobby Bonds. 67, that's going to be a strikeout off the Durham card. Chris Spire. 2-8 is a 6-4-3 double play, and Durham and the Portland squad get out of that mess. Leadoff single. It stays 3-3 here in Portland. Stretch time. We have, of course, if you've been following the Portland games, the very few ones we have in here, we have Beauregard. 73, Beauregard, Portland wrestler. This is some kooky, fun, funky blues, rockin' stuff. Let's get Tomorrow going here. This one's pretty hot. Yeah. Beauregard, Portland wrestler, put out this funky blues mess. Had a very young Greg Sage of the Wipers playing guitar on this record. Very rare record. And Portland Stadium, Rosebud Stadium's going bananas as their team is trying to rally. Down 0-2 in the series in a 3-3 game against Ron Bryant. Leading off will be Bob Montgomery, their all-star catcher, who homered earlier. 2-7 grounds to short. Billy Canigliaro, 48, pops to short. And Tom McCraw, 46, flies to right field. Well, that rally stalls a little bit. We'll turn this down a little bit as well. the rally music there. All right, it stays 3-3 into the 8th inning. Don Durham will continue. Hit a nice inning last time. J.L. Liu. Batting for J.L. Liu will be Jim Howarth, the new right fielder. Jim Howarth, here we go. 4-5 off Durham is short X. Billy Parker's a 40-44 shortstop. Billy cannot make a play. It's a single for Howarth, who's a C stealer. Montgomery's the DH. You got Barton catching, so he's not going to steal. And now you got Dick Dietz. Having a day. Hasn't been retired yet. I don't like to pinch hit for guys who hit home runs. And a 2-run homer here could pretty much clinch the series. So Dietz will swing away against the righty. 37, he hit the card again. Double 1-4, single ... Dick Dietz back to his days of previous years for the Giants. Marichal and Dick Dietz coming up big in this series. Runners in the corners, nobody out. You got McCovey, Matthews, and Fuentes. They're going to bring the infield up for McCovey. Let's take a look at Willie McCovey. They'll probably end up walking him anyway. 73 McCovey. Was he past his prime? I don't think so. 29 homers, 105 walks, and a 266 batting average. He's probably 40 years old in 73 or something like that. Well, actually, maybe not. Because remember, McCovey plays all the way to 79, 80, I think. So anyway, first and third, infield up, Willie McCovey. Here's the pitch. 3-7 is a walk. Well, like I predicted. Now you get the bases loaded. Durham is still good against righties, so they're going to bring the infield up for Gary Matthews. They can still get a 1-2-3 or 6-2-3 double play with the infield up and nobody out. The pitch to Gary Matthews. 58 off the Durham card is a sac fly to left field. Well, he hit it out there. He got the sac fly. And now you got one out with runners at first and second, and it's Fuentes. That's going to be it for Durham. He pitches an inning and a third. He's not very good against lefties. I'm going to go John Strohmeyer, who's better against lefties. 1-2, 3.51 ERA for the Expos in 77 innings in 1972. John Strohmeyer comes on in the 8th inning with runners at first and second and one out to face the left-handed batter, in this case, Tito Fuentes. Here's the pitch. 3-6 for Fuentes is a 6-4-3 double play. Yep, first and second. Nobody at third. Not holding. Yep, that's a double play. It was a plus, but then didn't have the infield up. So, he got out of the mess, and it's just a 4-3 game. Giants, any more defense to bring in? Yeah, you could bring in Rich Reese to play first base for McCovey. So now you got defense everywhere. You can have it. 6 outs to get for a 3-game sweep. Ron Bryant, starter 7. No batters reached in the 7th. I think they're going to leave him in there and say, you got to break me. That's how little they like their bullpen. Oh, my God. So, yeah, you're going to have to break old Ron Bryant here in the 8th inning, Portland. And doing it with the bottom of the lineup, Bob Barton, Billy Parker, and then back up top to Bernie Carbo here in the 8th. Here is Bob Barton. 6-11 off Bryant is first X. That's our new first baseman. That's Rich Reese, a 2-7 first baseman. And he makes the play. I always like to see that when you make a defensive replacement that it actually works. So the defensive replacement just paid a dividend for the Giants here. Billy Parker has power, so he's going to swing away. 2-10, grounds a short, and with 2 outs, back up top to Carbo, who actually has power against lefties, so he'll swing away. 67 is a base hit off of Bryant. Now you got Al Gallagher. The pitch to Alan Gallagher. 5-12 off of Bryant is a walk. Didn't want to do that. Now you got Boswell. 2 on and 2 outs. You got a break. Yeah, Boswell really hits lefties well. Let's take a look at the card here. Boswell really hits lefties well in this situation. But the Giants are saying, you know what? We like our starting pitchers, and we're just going to let them rot on the vine here. We're going to Billy Martin this thing and leave our starter out there way too long. First and second with 2 outs in a 4-3 game. Ron Bryant, the pitch to Ken Boswell. 3-11, misses his column and grounds to third. It stays 4-3. Into the 9th we go. It's Healy and Heiss, so I think Portland is going to go to their closer, Ray Bear, in the 9th inning, facing some righties. Ray Bear, one of those 72 extra player cards for the Cardinals. Yes, he did have a 0.53 ERA, a ridiculously low ERA for Strat, but it was in just 17 innings. And his whip's about 1.3, so it certainly doesn't play to a sub-1 earned run average in the 9th. And it'll be Fran Healy leading off for the Giants. 43, first X. This is McGraw's a 2E8. Makes the play. Bobby Heiss. 55, second X. 318 at second base. Makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Bobby Bonds. 59, rolls to second base, bottom of the 9th inning. Now, I think we are going to pull our starter. And my reasoning is that 2 batters and it hits the point of weakness and doesn't really have a legitimate chance of going for the complete game at that point, realistically. So let's get him out of there so he gets a victory or no decision. And let's try and see if we can get 3 outs out of this combination of Steve Hamilton, Charlie Williams, and Mike Caldwell. So you got Frank Robinson and Bob Montgomery. They're not going anywhere. So we're going to go Charlie Williams. Or actually, do we go... Yeah, we're going to go Charlie Williams. Let's take a look at Charlie here. A Giant in 74, 1-3 with a 2.79 ERA in 100 innings. Better against righties and lefties. So he'll face Robinson and Montgomery. Oh, actually, he might face all 3. Yeah, he'll probably face all 3 of these guys. Charlie Williams in the 9th inning, the meat of the Portland sandwich here. Frank Robinson, Bob Montgomery, and Canigliaro, both, double-digit home run dudes. And leading it off will be Frank Robinson. 68 off of Charlie Williams is a strikeout. In the column, the 1 out of it, however. And now it's Bob Montgomery, the all-star catcher who homered earlier off the pitcher's card. 46, pops to second base, and with 2 outs, this could be a 3-game sweep and be a nice big, this is a big moment here. Giants get a 3-game sweep. They pretty much can dial up a number 2 seed and a bye. I don't think anybody can catch them. So this is a huge at-bat right here for Billy Canigliaro. Let's take a look at Billy. 71, he was a Red Sox, 262 with 11 homers, 26 doubles, and he's got a ton of doubles on this card. Actually, I'd take a double if I can't get the homer, so at least I get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. So big at-bat for Billy Canigliaro, who's been a big part of this Portland team this year. Here's the pitch. 5-10 off of Williams is catcher's X. The catchers are terrible, however. Dietz is a 3E16. You can get to that E rating. That they do not. They do not get to that E rating. They get the PB foul out. Unfortunately for the Portland squad. And the Giants get a break on the E rating 16 catcher, not getting the error to end the game. And the Giants win 4-3. It is a 3-game sweep. A lot to unpack here. Portland's a little precarious situation again. We thought they had this thing dialed up in a very weak division, but yeah, it's a very weak division. That's why Portland has not clinched anything. Other than to stink less than their 3 division rivals, I guess you could say. A Game 3 victory for Ron Bryant. The big three, Marichal Bryant and Jim Barr. Nice. Charlie Williams a save, maybe giving the Giants some hope for their bullpen moving forward. He struck out a guy. Bryant's line, 7 hits to 3 runs. The 2-run homer off his card, plus a double, scoring on a double play. Those are all earned. Just 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Nice control for Ron Bryant today. In the 9th, Rayberry got 3 up and 3 down. Strohmeyer got the final outs in the 8th inning on a double play ball. That was nice. Durham inning in the 3rd, did give up. He will take the loss. He gave up that sac fly, 2 hits, a run and a walk. And then a hit and a K in the other inning. Gardner's no decision. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. But the 3 runs, it's just kind of a shaky outing there with some walks. 2 of those were earned. He walked 4, struck out 3. 1019, 0109, 4737. Close game. 4737. 54141454. The difference was the Giants, they will take a pass. They take a lot of pitches, and they drew 5 walks. And Dick Dietz, the cleanup hitter today, was absolutely huge. 3 for 3 with an RBI double, a solo shot, scored on a walk. Right in the middle of things. Lefty killer, Dick Dietz, and the Giants get that win. All right. We're going to just take this right to the post game here. And because now we have... this was the last series that nobody goes home. No elimination here. Portland's still alive. Giants, of course, are still alive. But now, from now on, every series I play, somebody is going home. I like to say there's 24 teams left, and there's 23 series left in the season. Portland has just fallen a game under 500, and they're in first place. Now, I got to preface that by saying the Tigers went to a World Series 2 years ago, and they finished at 500 to win their division. And they stunk up the joint all year, then they caught fire in the playoffs. So before you start pandering Portland, it could happen again. They are now 19-20 is Portland, hitting .261 with a .348 ERA. Bob Montgomery is still their star player. He did hit 17 home runs, 39 RBIs, 41 for 153. What is that? That is a .268 average. The other thing about Bob Montgomery, which is a little disturbing, in those 153 at-bats, he has 4 walks, and he has struck out 49 times. My goodness, folks, that's awful. But you can't argue with the 17 homers and 39 RBI. For Portland. 261, 348. That's great. Those are outstanding numbers for an expansion team, regardless of what their level of competition has been. And your Giants, they are now 6 over 500. Remember, they beat the Astros by a couple games. They beat them 4-2 last time we saw them, and now they've won these. If you take away the Dodgers sweep, they're 21-11 against everybody but the Dodgers. 21-15 overall, 6 over 500. The average is 245. That's not scintillating. A 337 ERA is pretty good. Steve Hamilton actually is doing a decent job closing. He's got 7 saves. Charlie Williams has now given up 6 runs in 15 innings after that save, so he's improving. The other 2 guys, Caldwell and Carruthers, are pretty awful. But the back end seems to have righted the ship. Charlie Williams and Hamilton seem to be reliable here at the back end. Hamilton probably should face exclusively lefties. Charlie Williams should face just the righties. If they can figure that out, they should be in pretty good shape. Not a lot of power for the Giants. You think McCovey would do more. He's got 6 homer, but just 18 RBI. He's 32 for 128. That's hitting 250. Not a lot to show there. Bobby Bonds has been almost invisible this year. 32 for 151. He's hitting 212 with just 8 steals and just 4 home runs. This is Bobby Bonds we're talking about. Not much going on for the Giants offensively, but they're 21-15, and Portland finished 19-20. 21-15, 19-20. So we'll put the numbers in here. In the best of 5, the Giants won 3-0. And they're looking at a number 2 seed. 21-15. Portland a game under 500. I'm really curious to see how that division shakes out. We can plug in here in that Atlanta and San Francisco are looking like numbers 1 and 2 presently. Let's go back up here now. There's the Giants, 21-15. Catch them if you can, folks. Catch them if you can. Anybody can catch this team? No. But the Cubs have already played. Cardinals still need to play. Pirates had such a slow start. They're playing better now, though. Mets have really fallen on hard times. Phillies has surprised a lot of people. But with Portland, you see the Diamondbacks at a game and a half back. They have a situation where if they were to sweep the Padres, they'd be 18-19, tied for first, and these teams would have a 1-game tiebreaker for the division title, which would just be more bookkeeping on my end, just more baseball I'd have to play. Kind of rooting for Padres. Just beat these Arizona team a couple times. Rockies can't catch that. That 5 under, they can't catch that. They don't play a long enough series. Actually, if the Rockies, if they win like 5 straight over the Astros, it's possible. But I think the big winner tonight is the Giants. Didn't have to do a whole lot to get to 2, when you think about it. The big thing they did was get past the Astros in the previous series. And so now the Astros, they have no practical way of getting 3 over 500, because the minute they start beating up on Colorado, that series will be over. We'll show you that here. So the elimination round, which is what we're moving to next, here's Houston, and they face Colorado. Colorado's 5 under 500, Houston's 2 over. That's 7 games or 3.5 back. That means that Colorado have to win 4 out of 5 and then a 1-game tiebreaker. The minute that the Astros win 2 games, that series stops. So the best the Astros could do is winning the first 2 games, making it +2. So +2 for the Astros just isn't good enough. That gets them 4 over 500. If they sweep Colorado, they can't catch the Giants. Of course, the Padres are in a worse situation. They can't catch the Giants. Like I say, the Rockies, they would have to do exactly this. Now, we saw the Tigers do something like that. They needed to win 6 out of 8, and they won 6 out of 7. If Colorado goes 5-0 or 5-1, 5-0, I think they'd have to go. If they go 5-0, if they win all 5 games against the Astros, they would be 21-21 at 500 and ahead of Portland. So that's exactly what would have to happen for Colorado way out west. That's it tonight. Break up your San Francisco Giants, a 3-game sweep of the Portland squad. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.